Hello, and welcome to Wide Open Spaces with Elise, a podcast. This is episode number 131. How is your mind's eye? You can listen to this podcast anywhere you love listening to your favorite podcasts. You can go to my website as well at wideopenspaceswithelise.com. Elise is spelled Ilise. Now let's pop in our earbuds and let's take a ride together. Thank you so much for joining me today for episode number 131. How is your mind's eye? I want to wish everybody, in case you don't listen to me next week, a happy Thanksgiving if you live in America. Thanksgiving is next week and all that entails. Now, for a moment, I hope you're in a comfortable place that you can just listen to me and relax. Listen to the sound of my voice. Get yourself comfortable. Kind of move your tush around and get in that perfect place in your seat. Even if you're sitting in a parking spot right now and you've started to listen to this podcast, you can still get yourself comfortable. If it's really hot, maybe you have seat coolers. If it's really cold, maybe you have warmers. Find a place just to settle for a few moments to share a little time with me. You wake up in the morning. You give yourself a big stretch. You slowly open your eyes. You feel some excitement in your chest for what the day will bring you. Every day you wake up with this excitement, but today there's even a little more excitement inside of you. And this excitement makes you want to hop right out of bed and get dressed. Now the weather is changing outside, and it's become cooler. Depending on where you live, maybe 40s, 50s, 60s, or 70s, but the air is getting cooler. But in the place you're at right now, the air is about a cool 55 degrees. And so you must choose your outfit very wisely. You throw on a pair of jeans and a comfy sweatshirt or sweater. Maybe some nice comfy Ugg boots or your favorite type of boots that are just so comfy and cushion your feet like clouds. Maybe get a little hat to keep your head warm. Take a last look in the mirror. Grab whatever you need. And you're going to head out for the day. And as you step out of your door, you take this deep breath in. The air feels cool inside your nose and your throat. The dryness of the cool air on your skin. You walk to the front desk and you pick up a picnic basket. You're wondering, what is in this picnic basket? And that's a great question. But you won't find out just yet. Maybe you have this picnic basket alone for the moment, but you will be joining someone who's very important to you. And so as you walk through the building, you walk outside again. And once again, that cool breeze, coolness through your nostrils, back of your throat, on your skin, and your hair begins to blow a little in the wind. And now the question is, where will you have this picnic? So you take some walks. As you're walking, the landscape becomes more of a rolling hill with the ups and downs, not too steep, minor rolling hills. And as you walk through these rolling hills, you come upon a wine vineyard. You take it in as you see, wherever you look, vines with grapes all over them. It's very close to grape picking season, so these grapes are ripe and juicy looking. And you realize this is the perfect place to have your picnic. So you walk down to the vineyards with its different rows lined on the rolling hills. And you don't want to pick just any place. You want to pick that place that kind of calls to you. So you walk for a little bit longer. Everything is pleasing to the mind's eye. And you find that spot. You look to your friend and you agree that this is the perfect place to have this picnic. You place the picnic basket down and you take your blanket and you place it in the perfect spot. But you fix it because you want that blanket just to be perfect, spread out perfectly so that it looks appealing and comforting. And you and your friend now sit on this blanket. And for a moment, you both stop and you just take it all in. It's as if you could almost smell those grapes on the vine. And so the anticipation of what's in that picnic basket, the big reveal has finally come. And you both slowly open the picnic basket to this beautiful presentation of food, sandwiches, fruit that looks so ripe and perfect and ready to eat, vegetables to dip in your hummus, bottles of water, and most importantly, the bottle of wine that you have chosen to be both of your favorite. It's a wine with a sparkling raspberry flavor. Not a red wine, but a form of a Moscato wine with sparkling and raspberry color and notes of raspberry. And so then you decide who will pour the glasses of wine, and you excitedly open up that bottle and pour. And you cheers to each other and your friendship, or whatever your relationship may be. And once again, you just sit, holding your glass of wine, starting to feel the relaxation take over you. Trying to let your mind absorb where you are and what you're doing. And as you begin to eat and have conversation, or maybe it's just quiet as you eat and you both take in your environment. The wine dances on your tongue. The fruit, as you bite into it, just has so much juice. Pineapples and strawberries and blueberries go perfectly with this raspberry flavored wine. And so that picnic basket that was the unknown is now pretty empty. As you've both sat there for a while, in peace and quiet and in conversation, you've slowly consumed this delicious picnic basket that was prepared for you. And as where your blanket is, there's two hammocks. Yes, two hammocks in the middle of a wine vineyard. Well, your friend decides to lay on one of them. And you sit there for a moment on the picnic blanket, watching your friend as the sun beats down on their face, It glistens on their skin. A slight smile is on their face. Eyes are closed. And you begin to see the peace, the relaxation of the moment take over them. Now there's another hammock right by your friend. But you choose to do something a little bit different. You put everything from the picnic basket away. You fix your blanket, and you decide to lay on the blanket in the middle of the wine vineyard. As you lay down, because it is rolling hills, your head is slanted a little bit back. At first it feels awkward, but then almost feels good on your back, taking some pressure because it's almost like you're a little upside down. And you take a deep breath in. You have your sunglasses on. You look up at the sky. Not a cloud in sight. Hawks and birds flying ahead. You watch for a moment as they do their dance in the sky, kind of anticipating which direction they might fly in next. And you just stare at this blank space, this blue, gorgeous, cool fall sky. You turn your head a little to the left, where this bunch of grapes is hanging closely to your head. Imagine laying in this vineyard with these ripe, juicy grapes just hanging from a vine right near your head. You look at these grapes. They still have some morning dew left on them. They're plump and juicy looking, purple in color. So beautiful you just want to reach out and grab them. But you understand that that is not the thing to do. And so you just imagine for a moment how juicy those grapes might be. And how amazing is Mother Earth that grows these grapes from the earth. And then with technology as old as time, wine is made from these grapes. And that kind of flows in your mind for a moment, thinking about how important wine was back in Roman times. So where this technology and idea of making a liquid alcohol from grapes, and how this winery that you're at came to be. You kind of chuckle to yourself for a minute at the amazement of just history and what just looking at this bunch of grapes, how it brings all these thoughts to mind. Now you slowly look back up at the sky. It's so blue and it's so peaceful looking. More of that calm comes over you. You take that big sigh. You know those sighs that sometimes uncontrollably happen. And you sigh. And now this blue sky is somewhat being painted as a few planes have gone overhead. And in their path that they've left are these billowy, puffy, white lines that make almost a design, as if these planes are painting the sky with these billowy, white, puffy lines. And your imagination runs wild a little bit for a moment as you become mesmerized at watching the planes as they paint the sky. For a moment, you need to close your eyes because you almost feel overwhelmed by the senses around you. It's quiet, it's peaceful, but yet your senses are being delighted. They're being activated by the sounds, the smells, the feels, the tastes, the sights that surround you. And knowing that when your sights are so ignited that your endorphins in your brain, the hormone in your brain, you feel it being released because your mood begins to elevate from this release of hormones sparked by your environment. And you breathe in. And then for a moment, reality creeps in a little, and you must take some pictures. Why? Because pictures, they give us a way to memorialize an experience, happy or sad. You all know when you've looked back on pictures that they can bring a smile to your face. So as you're laying there on this picnic blanket in the middle of a wine vineyard, you want to capture the moments. So you take pictures of the sky with the planes painting the sky. You turn back to the left and take a picture of that bunch of juicy purple grapes. You turn to your right and you take a picture of your friend who looks so peaceful laying on that hammock. You then lay your head back down, and from your angle, as you're tilted a little backwards, you look at the vineyards and you take this picture, kind of with just your knees sticking out, the camera in front of your face, so that you can always remember what it felt like laying there looking at the vineyard. And as you're done capturing this moment on your camera, put it back down. I want you for a moment to think about really where you are. You are laying in the middle of a wine vineyard. How fantastical is that? Awe-inspiring, peaceful, relaxing. And knowing that you've done something different today, stepped out of your comfort zone a little bit, got a little creative with what today's activities would be. Take in the moment in this wine vineyard. You are nurturing yourself. You are caring for yourself. You are giving yourself fun, enlightenment, and peace. And after about 2 hours of your friend on the hammock and you on the picnic blanket, the wine bottle is empty, and you both realize this time must come to an end. You both sit up. You both kind of chuckle. Talk about how relaxed you feel and just how amazing it is, the experience you both just had together. And smiles come on both of your faces. And so you clean up so that you leave the area as pristine as you found it. You take another deep breath in. You both look around at the rolling hills with all the vines and the beautiful purple red grapes, just ripe enough that they will be harvested very soon. And how thankful that you are that you were here at this moment before they were harvested, so that you could take it all in, memorialize it on your phone, and have this memory forever. And the two of you begin to slowly walk off, away from this momentous magical time that you've shared together. I hope you liked my visualization of being in a wine vineyard. This actually happened to me. I was at Chateau Elan Winery a little over 2 weeks ago in Brazelton, Georgia. An resort that has everything from bourbon tasting to wine tasting to an Irish pub to a spa, all these great things, hikes that you could do. And we chose to do this picnic in our experience, and it was wonderful. And everything I told you is exactly what happened. Except for a little bit that I chose to change, which I'll share with you later at the end of this podcast. So I'm going to keep you hanging to find out what happened at the end. This is my mind's eye, my visualization as I presented this to you, my experience. Because it is now planted in my brain through pictures, through my memory, and me sharing it with you. You did a visualization in your mind's eye. Visualizations are such a powerful tool that we all should tap into in times of feeling anxious, sad, depressed, frustrated, uneasy. Things in your life are feeling chaotic or out of control. Visualization is a coping mechanism. Even though you're not actually in the place you're visualizing it, your mind's eye sees it. And that endorphin hormone that I talked about still gets released, even though you might not actually be sitting in the middle of a wine vineyard. As I told you my experience, I felt myself begin to relax. When I had that sigh, it was a real, genuine sigh because I was tapping into this visualization. Because even though I really experienced it, it was a visualization in my mind's eye just as well as it was for you. I hope you felt the power of it. I hope you let me take you away to this wine vineyard. And so, how can you do this? Maybe you can't go to a wine vineyard. Or maybe you can't, in the point in your life, go traveling someplace to try something different. But you can look in your environment and try to step out of the box with things that are around you. But that's where visualization comes in. Because even though you may not have the money, the time, or the means to travel somewhere different, to do something different, you can in your mind's eye. You can create a visualization in your mind's eye. Think of a place you've always wanted to go. Think of how you've envisioned it, how you would experience it, what it would mean to you to be there. Choose a person to go with and create this visualization in your mind's eye. Because in your mind's eye, our brain absorbs it as if it is almost real for those small moments of creating that visualization. Maybe you love being in a library or in a bookstore, but you can't be there right now, but you're feeling so stressed and anxious. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself walking into that library and the smell of the books and the sounds and the quiet and the whisper of a library. Take yourself on a visualization to help you decrease anxiety, to feel less stressed, to elevate your mood, to feel less chaotic and at peace. This is a practice you can do every single day as long as you don't let it interfere with your daily responsibilities and things you need to do. You can do it in the morning, at night, in the middle of the day, that time where you're getting a little tired before the sun sets, whatever it is, you can use visualization. I hope you enjoyed going to the vineyards with me today. I know my friend and I did, and I feel blessed to be able to share this experience with you. So how did it really end? Well, the way it really ended was as my friend was laying there on that beautiful orange hammock with the sun glistening on her skin and her eyes closed, and me on our picnic blanket, head tilted a little back, sunglasses on and eyes closed. There began to be some noise of children running. And I don't say this to be in a mean way, but they were unruly children. And as they ran towards us, as we were in this meditative, peaceful, glorious state, they saw this other hammock not being used, and they turned it into a jungle gym. And so use your imagination with that and your visualization of what that might entail. And my friend and I tried to ignore it, hoping they would run away and get bored really quick with this hammock. But no, they didn't. Even one of them got hurt and began to cry. And my friend and I both opened our eyes. We glanced at each other, we nodded, and we knew that this experience has come to an end. Even though it didn't come to the end the way I explained it to you in the beginning, that's how I choose to remember it. But life happens, right? And we must go with those rolling hills and deal with them and not allow it to frustrate us or to take away the experience that we have just gone through. If you've been listening to me for a long time or you're just listening today, maybe you can relate a little bit, but my favorite female artist is Pink. And 2 nights ago, I got to see Pink again for the second time in her Trust Fall tour. And next week, I'm going to share it with you. And I'm going to talk about what I've talked about once before on the importance of music therapy and how music can really affect our psyche and be used as a tool to improve our mental health. And I'm going to talk about how Pink has gotten me there, how I've used her as a form of music therapy. And hopefully if Pink is not your artist of choice, you'll be able to identify someone and their lyrics that will hit you in just that right way. So tune in next week as I talk about the concert that I went to and how music therapy can make a huge impact on your life. Thank you so much for joining me today at Wide Open Spaces with Elise. Remember, positive thoughts always create positive energy. Go out and explore all those wide open spaces in your world. And until next time, my friends, thank you for joining me, and ciao.